Certainly our agency is still hurting.
The death of Deputy Eric Oliver was a gut-wrenching loss for his fellow Nassau County deputies and for Sheriff Bill Leeper.
We're moving forward the best we can.
It also put a spotlight on a practice few know about.
If it wouldn't be for them, none of this would happen that day. That officer that went down probably would have been alive at this time.
This Fernandina Beach businesswoman believes that Deputy Oliver was unwittingly caught in a pattern of enforcement by County Border Patrol agents.
They stop at Winn-Dixie, they stop at the gas stations, and they're hunting people.
Deputy Oliver died while chasing a suspect into traffic. But it wasn't his suspect. He'd been asked to act as backup for a U.S. Border Patrol agent stopping a truck full of Hispanic-looking men.
People are afraid. They don't want to walk out on the streets anymore.
The businesswoman says there is a climate of fear in Nassau County. A naturalized U.S. citizen, she declined to speak on camera, saying she didn't want to invite retaliation. She and others in the community say Border Patrol agents routinely stop Hispanic-looking people.
It's to the point where if you're Latino, you are going to be stopped for walking while Latino or biking while Hispanic.
Susan Pye is a former federal prosecutor and an immigration attorney. Over the past 4 years, she's been involved in more than 20 cases of what she calls questionable stops by Border Patrol agents in Nassau County. The same allegations surfaced in 2 affidavits. Witnesses say a Border Patrol agent was, quote, hunting Mexicans. Federal law prohibits profiling. An agency spokesman says, quote, Customs and Border Protection strictly prohibits profiling on the basis of race or religion. Sheriff Leeper says his agency shares that view.
Our policy is we don't profile.
But Leeper acknowledges that his deputies will notify Border Patrol with suspicions based on little more than appearance.
There's some time to time we'll come across some individual, someone that really looks like they should not have been in our country to begin with, and then we'll call Border Patrol to come take a look at it.
Border Patrol can't detain someone based on appearance alone, but in the case of the bicycle stops, the agent said he wasn't formally detaining them, he was just engaging them in, quote, casual conversation. This picture, taken by witnesses, shows the officer straddling the front wheel of one man's bicycle.
Would you characterize that as a posture of somebody that was just having a casual conversation with someone?
I mean, absolutely not. It's defies logic to say that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're actually getting in front of somebody and impeding their progress, that becomes problematic there as to why they're doing it.
First Coast News crime analyst Mark Bachman, who worked drug interdiction cases as a DEA agent, says body language matters.
And most people in that dialogue, or at least on the receiving end of that, don't feel they have the right to go anyway, but they're going to sit there and answer those questions.
That phrase, casual conversation, also surfaced in the November incident. The Border Patrol document says an agent approached a vehicle at the Nassau County Gate gas station. One of several occupants of the vehicle, Francisco Portillo Fuentes, fled. 2 Nassau officers gave chase, and Deputy Oliver was hit by an SUV and killed.
Why would he run if he hasn't committed a crime?
Sheriff Leeper says his deputies assist Border Patrol when asked.
Would you say you're seeing a little more of that now than in past years, in your experience?
I would say we see a little bit more nowadays. It's just hard to say.
Records obtained by First Coast News show that Federal Border Patrol called on Nassau County deputies for backup 4 times in the past year. That may not seem like much, but Leeper says there are also instances where they help and no report is written.
We do things all day long without making reports because there's no reason to.
That's not their mission.
Pye worries that getting deputies involved criminalizes what is essentially an administrative matter. Being in the U.S. without documents is a civil offense, not a criminal one.
They pose no threat to you, they pose no threat to us, they pose no threat to the community.
That was not the case with Portillo Fuentes, who had entered the U.S. twice previously and faced criminal charges.
But the deputy doesn't know that at that time, so they naturally do what they're trained to do, is enforce the law and pursue that.
That, Pye says, is what makes Deputy Oliver's death especially tragic.
He should never have undertaken that level of risk to pursue this kind of a person. He should not have lost his life because he should never have risked his life.
Ann Schindler, First Coast News.